Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. It's like Warlord the Stash. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy 4th of July to all of you in the best country in the world, in my opinion. Don't at me, bro. Happy 4th of July. So we have a competition coming up today. I wanted to go over quickly. No NFT start. It's not going to be as good as I would have liked to. Ran out of time. I have a document that I'm going to share and use to go over everything with you. I'm going to share that link for you guys as well. Quickly, we're going to go over the craft points and talk about what we're going to do. In my opinion, I would sell wool and sell copper after wool, and wool and copper together. Copper sells for 5,000. Copper ore only sells for 3,000. Copper sells for 50,000 per tin. Copper ore only sells for 3,000. So there's a big discrepancy there. Wool still sells for 37,500. So in my opinion, I would definitely start with wool. We're going to show Dubstep's video here in a second. Dubstep goes about it a little bit differently, and that's okay. He's got his method. He's doing great in the game. You want to follow him, go for it. I've got the document as well. We'll go over that. But basically, you've got one river, and that's it. You get one river this time. Also, the game starts with panners and the panning mines thing for the copper ore and storage for that. So instead of having wheat in a silo and a farmer. So in my opinion, I delete those and I focus on wool. But it seems that Dub might be selling lumber. Let's see. What's Dub selling? Dub's got oak. Dub's doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Dub's selling just copper, it seems. He's selling just copper to get to gas production. So, hey, go for it. I would sell wool. In my breakdown, we go with wool. But anyway, that's going to cut to the next video because my audio was all messed up. All right, so here's our town setup here. Also of note, you guys need to remember, if you've got our script on, you need to make sure that you put this drop down right here at the top to the correct event. But this is our town setup. 1 minute and 20-second gas sell time, which is arbitrarily too high. It shouldn't be that high, but they apparently, again, don't know how to play this game. All right, so what's important for you to know? Well, we've got one river this time instead of two, which, again, I don't think is game breaking for you. So let's talk about what we're going to do. Step one, first thing I want you to do is you can make a sale of copper ore. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Click here, sell, click copper ore. Now, again, it only sells for 3,000, so it doesn't really do as much good. Frankly, I don't think we need any of this stuff right now, in my opinion. So you can go ahead and remove all of this. This is probably the biggest thing to note of change. Instead of a silo and wheat and a miner, a farmer, they've got all the stuff for mining, which, again, it's not buffed enough to make copper ore worth doing. Now, it is super fast, but the problem is that it's 3,000 per sale. So you run that out, you're not going to have enough cash to do gasoline production. So they still give you a storehouse, which, again, just kind of shows that I don't know if they're trying to be quirky or what, but it doesn't make any sense. So first thing, sell copper ore. And then step two, let's just make it bulleted. Let's do that. Let's do, okay. Sell one batch of copper ore. Also, I'm making this on Google Docs. I'm going to have this Google Doc share link in the description for you guys. Sell copper ore, delete panning fields, panner, and storage. Pan, worker, and storage. Okay, so now we've got that done. We have 39 gas left, and we're going to delete or sell ponds we don't need. So this is where this comes down to personal opinion. In my personal opinion, you don't need any of them because you have a river. River gives you 5 passive water, but you could also argue that a couple of them are worth keeping because of how many trees there are here. So we're going to sell all these. Okay. Now we're going to leave the oil seep because that's going to be how we get our easy gas. I'm going to start putting some lumberjacks down. So I'm going to place lumberjacks 2 to 3. Okay, we'll do 3 for now. So that leaves us with 51,000 cash. Okay, so what we want to do now is also we'll put 1 rancher. Okay, build 1 rancher. Now, if it was me, I would move my storehouse closer, but for the sake of saving money, we're not going to do that. Now, I would put the sheep pens down here and just have them walk to get the food here. But for the sake of competition, trying to speed things up, realistically, that's a lot of movement for them. So now, if we delete right here, we get rid of these sheep pens, or get rid of this, we can put the sheep pens right here. So next thing we're going to do is delete meadows. What do I mean by this? Well, we're going to get rid of these, or pastures, excuse me, because we don't want them to walk too far. The whole thing about maximizing this is having them walk too far. So delete pastures. Now we're gonna also sell. We're gonna sell these two. Okay. And now, why did I do that? If we look at sheep pen, you see we still have enough water right here, right? Hypothetically, I've got enough water everywhere I need right here. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna delete marshes in way. So we're gonna delete this one and delete this one. So now again we've got 45,000. So let's go ahead and place sheep pen down here and sheep pen down here. Notice how we have 7. Again, in my opinion, I would put them down here, but we'll play this game for now. Now, this guy has plenty of water from the marshes and stuff. So hypothetically, we can remove this guy. And we can put another sheep pen. We can put a sheep pen here instead. Okay, so the next step is going to be place sheep pens. Okay. Now, Bob the Builder's building that. While we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and place down meadows. And we want to put them. These are cheap, so we're going to put as many of them as we can, as close as we can to these sheep pens. So they don't have to walk far. The key is trying to minimize how far they have to walk, right? Okay, so then we place meadows close to sheep pens. Okay, and then now with that cash, we're gonna wait until we get our first sell. Wait for first wool sell, or let's go next step. Set auto sell after first wool, and wait for first sell. Place another sheep pen down. Repeat. We're going to call this 11. Repeat 11 through 12 until you have 6 to 8 sheep pens. Start making gas production once you have sold 15 to 20 batches of wool. Okay. So, does that make sense? Everybody got that? I know it's fairly straightforward. We're going to have to wait a while for this to get built and stuff, but I hope you get the main layout. So, the beginning of the game is a lot of waiting because this is a very slow process. Now, if you want to save a little cash, you can remove some more. Remove roads for cash. or sell wood. Do not sell gas if you don't have to. Now, one thing of note, because we have the oil seep, it's actually cheaper to make gasoline. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna demo this. Everybody, I'm pretty sure this is fairly straightforward. Everybody's got this. Again, quickly, let's talk about Dub's video. We're gonna link Dub's video as well in the description below. He goes into
worker house. So my builder is gonna work on building all.
He's
that.
gonna
Like
use
earlier,
copper ore. He's selling copper ore. No, he's not selling copper ore. What's Dub doing?
So as soon as that the lumber into the ore.
Okay.
I want to make sure that here is.
So he's immediately putting in a warehouse and a water facility to sell gasoline.
And put copper ore with a cell at amount of 10. I want to make sure that my auto cell is turned on. So as soon as I get at least 10
that's important, Dub.
lumber. I have over 50,000 cash now, so I have enough to build the lumber mill. I'm going to stop crafting water drums and just keep crafting energy. Eventually my warehouse will fill up before I get space, and I would flush the wood shed here, but I don't need to in this case. So as soon as the lumber is turned on,
okay,
so
what is he selling?
I get at least 10 copper ore, it's gonna go ahead and sell it, assuming my trade depot is back and ready to sell another batch. So as soon as it gets back, as you can see right now, it's gonna go ahead and sell the copper ore, and we're just gonna.
Okay. Okay, so he had another panner in, so he's selling copper ore. Now he's demoing ponds. Okay, so he's just selling copper ore and getting his gas production into place. So he's putting a lumber mill down. He's putting a water facility and a warehouse here. Okay, and in doing that, he's going to get lumber production done quickly. And then this is something we need to talk about here. If you don't have a layout, sell wool until you have several million. Sell wool until you have about 10 gas left. Right? Then start gas. 18, I would say if you do have a layout, start placing items. Start placing gas production where it will end up in your build. So this is what's important. If you notice here, this is where the oil seep is, and this is where he has his gas production at. Okay, there's his fuel tank. Okay, you can see all that. So what's important here is that, and this is how advanced of a player are you. If you're just playing, it's not that important. But if you're trying to be a tippy top, any redoing and overdoing of what you've been building is where you waste time at, basically waste time and money. So this is his layout right here. Again, I'm going to link this down below. So we assume we have a build layout, right? So this is going to come in a second. We're going to go ahead and abandon the town. Notice here we've got our sheep pens. Also of point, wait for sell, sheep down, rotate to face food. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna come here, we turn this on. Let's go ahead and go to our auto cell, turn it on. This isn't working, so we're just gonna put it on anyway. And notice we don't have wool yet, but as soon as we do, we're gonna put wool in the auto cell. Look, there she goes right there. Also, you can rotate storehouse. So every little bit counts, right? So you can turn that storehouse facing that way if you want. It's a good plan. Again, I recommend Dub's video. This is mine. It's rushed. I apologize. So now we can go to auto sell and put wool, and we're going to sell at 0, which just means as soon as there's some available to sell, you're going to sell it. Okay, so let's go ahead and abandon the town, and we're going to start over. All right, so back to square one. Now what we need to do is notice in Dub's build, the pond is he's using for his gas production is 3 spaces away from the oil seep. Okay, so 3 spaces away. Jesus Christ. Okay, so 3 spaces away would be right here. Right, we don't have a pond there. Okay, but we're gonna pretend that this is the pond. Okay, for the sake of the video. So what I'm doing all this to show you layout wise. So I know this is where my pond, where my gas production is going to go, right? So I've made all my wool cells, and this is going to be for gas production, right? So we're going to delete all of this, and we're going to pretend that this is where we're going to be placing everything. Okay, so we're going to sell everything we don't need. Now, why does this matter? Again, this is in reference to you maximizing how fast you get everything done. Now, you can build as you go. Don't you don't have to listen to my instructions. If you're comfortable building as you go, then by all means do it. But let's say this is where we're putting our gas production, right? So when I start to build my my gas production, right, I'm gonna place my roads down where they go. And then in the future, all I have to do is what? I just have to pave them, right? Once I have the cash. He's going to have his lumber mill right here. Okay? So if that's where his lumber mill is going, that means we need to put roads down here. Right? We're simulating these roads. I'll delete that. Okay. Now, do we have the cash to do this? Yes, we do. Okay. So you can put your water pump down right here, right? Everybody tracking? Okay. I'm going to delete this for the cash just so I can do this. We're also going to sell some gasoline. Again, we're doing this just so we have the cash to show you. But yeah, just imagine that you've made, 4, 5, 6 cells. You've got all the... this is going to simulate our oil seep right there. You got all the cash that you need to go ahead and do your production out. So we're going to put a refinery right here and right here. Okay, so you see how we would do this. We want to have one doing gasoline, one doing crude oil, and he has this fuel tank right up here. You see what I'm getting at? Having a build layout's important. So now I know I can place these and I don't have to move them. And then as I get more cash, as I make more sales, I can demo all this other stuff out of the way, start putting my main roads down. And again, as long as you know where these roads are going, you can place them down as regular roads and then pave them later, right? So I know I'm going to have roads here. Dubs build's great. Use it as a guide. I'm going to attach my video from my build at the end of this video. Again, it's going to be a little bit different because we only had 2 rivers last time. But that's the basic concept. So, transition to a final layout as you make cash sales of wool. Transition to, let's do this, transition to copper and wool once you get panners, fields, and what do we need to make copper? If you look, copper is in a forge. Forge needs 5 lumber, 5 wood, and 5 batteries, right? So 27,500. It's not very expensive, but you need to have lumber going, and you can't have lumber going until you get gas production going. Spanner fields and forges. So if we look back at Dub's build, right? Notice his forges are all back here. Okay? So basically you can start doing your gas production, and then you can start putting these forges in. As again, wool is constantly selling, right? So you never stop selling wool until you're making a high enough cash product. And since wool's pretty close to copper, I would argue you keep wool as long as you can. Okay? So again, I know these are where my loggers are going to go, so I'm going to put my lumberjacks there, right? It's that kind of thing, right? I know that's going to be there, so I'm going to put this here kind of thing. Okay? So, for instance, for me, I know I'm going to have loggers here So I'm going to put my lumberjacks here. Right? If we look at Dub's build, that's where I happened to put them in earlier, but that's how, if you look at the build, that's where they go. Okay? So it's that kind of thing. It's min-maxing, as they call it, right? I'm trying to minimize the amount of time, but also maximizing what I'm out doing. So at that point, I would start selling copper, and then if you really wanted to, you can put start putting the I would do all my forges first, then you can put the wires in and start selling wire and copper, and then once you have the money, start putting your jewelry stores in. So that would be the order I'd do it. So use forges to sell copper with wool until you can pave all your roads. Then add in wire, and then add in jewelry tables. Okay, so if we look once again at this, jewelry crafting table is 300,000. Jewelry crafting table. $100K per. Okay. Wire mill is 100,000. Right. So there's a flow here, right? I'm going to do the cheapest stuff I can first, start accruing cash. Once you don't have to worry about gas, then you can just start selling stuff, right? So keep selling copper, keep selling wool, and go from there. All right, I know it's a bum rush, and I apologize again. We're going to link Dub's video as well as this link to the prices, as well as my little crude makeshift list here. So if you got any questions, Discord's the easy way to get a hold of me. I am going to be streaming, but I'll be at my brother-in-law's and sister's house. It won't be here, so it'll be a makeshift impromptu stream. So don't hesitate to go watch Dubs live. He'll be live as well. Got any questions? Discord's the easy way to get a hold of me. I got a link down below if you want to help me support. Appreciate you. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I love you. Hope you have a great day. Pew, 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 pew. I'm liking Warlord. The Stash. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye. Ooh, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I want to shout out my Patreons from Patreon, and my new YouTube members as well. I got that going. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much. Your help has been crucial to keeping me alive and keep streaming and keep helping and hopefully entertaining you along the way. Anything I can do to make it more worth your while, please let me know down below. Also, you can find me on my Discord. I have my Discord server link down below, Patreon links down below, and then membership should be somewhere around here. Thank you all so very, very much. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to the future, and I hope you will come along for this journey with me. Thank you. Take care.